Hi, everybody, and welcome into the Spiel, coming to you from, well, Tower Square Plaza in Marion, Illinois. And you know, we have talked about being so excited because we are slap in the middle of downtown, the Tower Square area, which means we're in the middle of everything that's happening. It's really buzzing today.
That was good.
You like
that?
That or
nice.
beeping.
Beeping.
It
Yeah,
could be
it's beeping right now.
It's beeping,
Yeah.
it's buzzing, it's sawing,
Yeah.
it's tuck pointing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what we get for being in the middle of everything is you're in the middle of everything.
Oh, gosh. Hi, everybody. I'm Angie Wyatt. That's Lucas Winkler. Everybody knows Lucas. You need no introduction.
Yeah, in case you guys forgot, we're in Illinois, so there's construction going on no matter where you are.
He can't get over it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if you crawl 2 feet, there's construction.
So are you suggesting that the hustle and bustle that we loved so much last show is now annoying?
It's rejuvenating.
It is not rejuvenating. He is so going outside to talk to the gentleman in just a little while. I'm sure of it. I am, because it's an audio nightmare.
I mean, that's not that bad, Angie.
Really?
It could be worse.
Now, next question. Tuck pointing is what they say they're doing?
Yeah, brick tuck pointing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's very necessary.
Rob said it best earlier. He goes, okay, let me get this right. You're damaging the bricks to restore the building.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, well, look, we have a great show today. We have some amazing music. We have another Netflix original. We have a taste of the finer things. Guess what's in the kitchen, Lucas? Stop doing that to the camera It's
It
so
wasn't
weird.
the camera. I was making eye contact with Sam. Anyways.
Right, through the lens.
Yeah.
Into his soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Back to the Caviar King.
We have caviar in the kitchen. What are you going to do with that?
Honestly, don't know.
Yeah, you never had any?
I have. It's been a while.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're excited?
Yeah. I've only had the Caviar Queen, so we'll see what the king is like.
So we'll see how the king measures up.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, and we also today, look, I don't know if you're ready for this, but it's a tough conversation about making some decisions that all of us will face. Tough
Wow.
conversation.
A straight downer.
Straight downer, but is it really? Because, you know, there's such...
Well, it depends on how you lived your life. It could be a straight downer or a straight upper.
You went there. You totally went there. We're going to talk about making some plans just to ensure that, you know, you don't spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend a lot of money when you're going out like that.
And be remembered.
And be remembered in a great way, right?
Yeah. Or in a bad way. I don't know.
We have so much to get to.
Everyone has a preference.
Great music also. If I didn't mention that,
You
like a
did.
superstar coming in from Paducah.
Superstar.
Yes, please do not bombard her, like asking for autographs and stuff.
Okay.
You're like, Angie, do you know how many? You've been on stage
It's usually
with
the other way
Nelly.
around.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around. You are right. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, musicians are always asking the audio engineer for his autograph.
All right, guys, we're getting pretty deep. So let's get started. Stay right there.
Like Havoc was always intended to be like a love letter to, you know, the Hong Kong heroic bloodshed genre. So like I was riffing on the works of John Woo, of Ringo Lam, like those filmmakers, and then even like Sam Peckinpah with The Wild Bunch, which is a film that I grew up watching with my dad.
This is Martina Toohill, and she was a natural. She's one of them people that when I'm sitting in the office, I hear them as they leave say, "Thank you, Martina. We really appreciate all the help that you gave us today."
I'm very particular and I'm passionate to the customer. I love seeing a smile on their face.
So we encourage people to stop in, meet our salespeople, meet our people. They'll become your friends if you shop here.
We are the best kept secret in CRHPC.
Our clinic provides a vital role in our community.
We can get you the answers you're looking for.
The sliding fee program.
It can discount all the services that we have within CRHPC.
Marketplace insurance.
If you feel overwhelmed or if you can't do it yourself, then we can do that assistance for you.
Getting medications at a reduced cost.
We can provide resources for you for health, food, shelter, clothing.
Call us in advance and we can schedule transportation, round trip.
A lot of insurances actually pay for transportation.
We do have a translator. We will help you wherever you want, all over the clinic.
We also have SHIP counselors that are certified for
Medicare, Medicaid.
We are here to help.
We're willing to work with you no matter what.
Call us at 833-209-0498 or visit us at crhbc.org.
Hello, my name is Kylah Beth, and I'm a 19-year-old singer-songwriter, and this is my song called Silverado. Red blinker glows red in the early morning light. A trail of dust left home 'cause we couldn't make it through the night. We weren't strong enough to have another fight. Silverado, Silverado. If they could take that girl, why do I have to do it alone? Just put it in jive. Oh, baby, I could go all night. People calling me crazy, hoping you come back around. But if it's taking the roads back to my house, then why don't you ever come back home? Oh, Silverado, Silverado. The things I do just to sit in that passenger seat and I feel good. In a Silverado. There's some things you just never let go, like how I feel when you hit the road. All you left is something I never wanna know. Why you left me? 'Cause this love was more than sleep. Should've known where Chevys run deep. Silverado, Silverado, Red blinker glows red in the early morning light. Thank you. Thank you.
Pediatricians are seeing firsthand how quickly illnesses can spread. See your doctor and make sure your kiddos stay well this season and every season.
They need the care of others.
There's multiple pediatric providers to choose from that are going to provide great care for your kids. Come see one of our pediatric providers at CRHPC.
With 15 locations throughout Southern Illinois, there is sure to be an office near you. also available at crhpc.org.
The Southern Illinois Tobacco Disparities Partnership is a 3-year grant through the Illinois Department of Public Health.
Southern Illinois has higher rates of tobacco use in the lower 16 counties, nearly double that of those throughout the state.
So the mission is to actually reduce those disparities that are associated with tobacco use as well as vaping.
Tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable death in Southern Illinois and actually in the U.S.
Did you know your teenager's brain is more likely to get addicted to nicotine than yours? The tobacco and vaping industries do. They target teens with their products and try to cover up the fact that there's nicotine in them. They're trying to get your kids addicted and make them customers for life, but you can stop them. Talk with your kids about the real dangers of vaping. The tobacco and vaping industries sure won't.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Promise that I'll stay.
This is definitely the life of a celebrity. So let me tell you about this girl here. You were taking a final this morning and on stage, like performing here at the TV show by afternoon, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was biology. She doesn't even have words.
I don't even.
She's like, nah.
I can't
nah.
tell you what I learned.
Well, you and your mom were great. You got the call last night to come be on the show. There was no reluctance. What did you say when you heard the question?
Man, I was like, immediately yes. Immediately yes. This is such a cool experience. I'm
Good.
so excited.
Good deal. So I'm super surprised, like watching you perform. You did it with such confidence, and it's because you've been doing it a minute. Like
I have been doing it
a decade. And she's, more than a decade actually, because you said you're 19. You started at age 7.
Yes. Well, I started my brother got a guitar for Christmas, so I made him sit down and show me all the how do you do this? I remember the first song that I learned my dad taught me, and it was "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Oh.
Which is so crazy for a 7-year-old to learn.
Well, that's why you still play with such confidence. Now, how many times did your brother say, "Put my guitar down and stop playing with it"?
Oh, a million. But now he can't say that to me because he does that to me all the time.
There, brother. What's his name? We'll call him out.
Seth.
Seth. Listen, Seth. Okay, I love your music. I love you. You're fun to watch. Talk about those gigs and, where your inspiration came from and what it is that you're trying to accomplish with this music.
Oh, man. So I've been playing out since age 12. I started at open mic nights in Nashville at this place called Two Old Hippies.
Yep.
And man, just ever since there, I hopped on that stage. I was like, okay, performing is definitely a part of my future. I can't live without it. So ever since then, I came home. So I'm from Paducah, Kentucky. So I remember calling venues and going to these restaurants being like, can I play? I play guitar and sing.
Good for you.
And big thanks to Paducah Beer Works because they have helped me so much. And I've gotten so many playing at festivals, like Barbecue on the River.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. It's pretty scary, but could not be more thankful because those are definitely, it's just so cool to see, you have such a support system that helps you get to where you are and you can't make it any other way.
Well, and that's the thing. You just don't know what that next gig is going to mean for you. So I'll tell you a story that might blow your mind. Okay. So I'm old, okay? But my first CMA Fest that I covered, I think it was called something back then, there was a voice of a young girl coming from the riverfront, right? Mm-hmm. And I go down and I've got my camera guy with me and we get a couple of shots, but we're not, it's like we got to go up here and get, Jason Aldean was there, a bunch of other big stars. Taylor Swift on a flatbed trailer thanking Mama for taking her to the radio station to get to, you know what I mean?
That's so neat. That's such a cool, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's awesome. I just got chills.
So every time you play, you just don't know what that next gig is
You
going to
really
be.
don't.
You don't. So I'm so thrilled that you're out there and you're doing it. And if it's what you want, if it's your passion, may God see that through for you. I love that for you.
Thank you so much.
So how can people follow the music? How do they find you online?
I have Instagram, Kylah_Beth.
Okay.
And I mainly post my stuff on Instagram and Facebook. I think my Facebook's the same thing.
Okay.
But I post where I'm playing on those.
Perfect.
And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, and now you have more time because you're done with finals?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. She's available. Call her like she wants to come play and stuff, okay? And Taylor, if you need somebody to open, just saying. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you
We
so
appreciate
much.
you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Every single shot is like a jigsaw piece. So I never shoot coverage, I never do masters. It's just, this is the exact shot for that one piece of choreography.
There are a lot of people putting a lot of things on, put caviar on like that. You see chicken, pizza, chicken nuggets and stuff like that. But really it pairs well with eggs, some kind of buttered toast, or potato.
There's so much stigma around behavioral health and mental health. My job is to make you feel welcome, to understand what's going on, and to provide you the resources, education, and opportunities available. And you may not even know what you're ready for. You may be like, I'm not ready for medication or anything, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be just about that to come see me. It's about getting your child help. And the sooner we get your child help, the better outcomes.
For youth who use tobacco or e-cigarettes, we are promoting the My Life, My Quit program that's for ages 13 to 17.
We want to make sure that they don't start to become addicted to cigarettes or vaping.
We go into schools and do classroom presentations, or we do large assemblies like in the gyms to share information about how they can get help if they already have an addiction.
But really the thing is, we don't want our youth and young people to become addicted.
There's no way they're all here.
They're all here.
Are you kidding me? I'll see a straight jacket. Thank you, Lucas.
And all the
Great on fish, great on beef. It's even good with chips.
Hey guys, I'm Michaela Lane and welcome to my tour bus. Okay.
They're experiencing your enthusiasm, your love.
What is it that you want to achieve every day? What is that footprint that you're trying to leave?
I was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. I've always had a goatee, and now I don't. And you lose a lot of things. You know, I didn't just lose my hair. Going through treatment, you can't be as active, and it's hard when you come home and, you know, Daddy, can you get on the floor and play with me today? And, you know, unfortunately, some days it's Daddy needs to go rest. I started smoking when I was 14 years old.
Well, seemingly we're going to wreak havoc. We have another Netflix premiere. Here's Tim Estilos.
I just came from a crime scene. 9 bodies.
I make one phone call. You and your friends go down for life.
Hello, Gareth.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have to tell you, this film was just simply amazing for me. I mean, I know your other work from the Raid films, but you took this to a whole new level. How do you feel about this finished product?
I'm excited now you said that. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I think I'm like every filmmaker. Like when it comes to the week of release, I've watched it like over 1 million times, and so I'm kind of just, it's like I'm ready to let it out into the world now. I'm very proud of what we've achieved and excited to see how people react and hope, like yourself, people have a good time with it. So yeah, it's exciting.
Tell us in an abbreviated version what this film is all about.
Oh, I love these questions. So Havoc is about a bruised, morally dubious cop called Walker. It's 2 nights before Christmas. He's out to get a present for his little girl that he hasn't seen in a while. He's trying to rebuild that relationship. And then he gets called to a crime scene. And when he arrives there, there's a dead triad boss on the table, a pile of cocaine on it. It's a drug deal gone bad. And when he looks at the CCTV, he identifies the prime suspect as being the son of a mayoral candidate played by Forrest Whitaker, who he is working for.
You got footage of our suspect. Do you know him?
My son is not a killer.
This kid was public enemy number 1.
Your son just started a gang war. They just want to shoot him dead. That's the end of his story.
I make one phone call. You go down for life. Get him back.
And so he gets given the unenviable task of finding his son before the clean cops arrest him or the triads kill him. And so that's his mission over the next 2 nights. And then also at some point, hopefully get his present to his little girl.
And then, of course, as the title says, Havoc breaks loose, indeed.
100%, yes.
Now, your hero in this film is played by Tom Hardy, an amazing actor there. What led you to cast him for this particular role? Because there's a lot of action stars out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess less about what led me to cast him. I mean, it's almost kind of like it's self-evident. He's such an incredible performer, such an incredible actor, and has so much range and charisma and screen presence. But he's also, performed in, some of my favorite action films. I mean, Mad Max Fury Road, I went to see that in the cinema like 6 or 7 times, and I found myself just studying it like frame by frame, shot by shot, So I knew he had like, I knew he'd been in action cinema for like, a long time before, but this was an opportunity then to bring him into my world. And it was just like an absolute joy to sort of get him on board.
You're not going to get out of this city alive without my help.
Felt like it was this interesting thing where for me with Havoc, with that character of Walker, like I knew I could take that character on a journey. I knew I could take him through the sort of the set pieces we designed. But what Tom brought to it was an elevation of the material and forcing us to scrutinize that character and dig deeper into his psyche, so that you wouldn't just have like the spectacle of the set piece, but also like a beating heart that kind of ran along with it then.
And a key part of this film are the action sequences. I mean, a lot of films have action sequences, but you, again, have just raised the bar on this one.
I'm gonna get you out. It ain't up for discussion.
There are people out there looking for you.
And I understand that you always sort of try to add your affection for Indonesian martial arts. So how does that fit into this film?
Well, we kind of sidestepped it for this one in particular, mainly because despite Tom knowing jiu-jitsu, the key component was Walker doesn't. So when it came to Walker, our sort of design aspect was to be more direct, more a path to least resistance. So whenever Walker's in trouble, he's not going to put you in a nice wrist lock or an arm bar or any of that kind of stuff. Nothing flowery, nothing sort of rhythmic. What he's going to do is he's going to grab you by the scruff of your neck and then throw your face down into something sharp or hard or like a blunt instrument. There was a much more sort of brutal approach to the action choreography. But furthermore than that, for me, like Havoc was always intended to be like a love letter to the Hong Kong heroic bloodshed genre. So like I was riffing on the works of John Woo, of Ringo Lam, like those filmmakers, and then even like Sam Peckinpah with The Wild Bunch, which is a film that I grew up watching with my dad. Those films are the framework from which I was able to kind of like build upon and hopefully pay some decent homage to within this film.
I got to tell you, Peckinpah came to mind while I was watching this. So you were successful, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, truly. And you've done some choreography. Are you doing the choreography in this film as well?
So I have a great team led by the stunt coordinator, Jude Poyer. And so it's himself and then along with his amazing team of stunt performers. And essentially the design work that we do across the film is that we get together, we're in a little studio space, There's usually a bunch of cardboard boxes and a bunch of crash mats around, and we will talk about each scene. And I might have 3 or 4 specific gags that I'd like to see implemented in it. But then we build it together. So Jude and his team come up with sequences, movements and rhythms. They present them to me, and then we carefully curate which ones we like and build a sense of structure. So it's almost like a development process. But then on the back of that, we scrutinize not just the content of the action, but also the camera angles and the editing points. So it's all kind of scrutinized and locked in before we go into production. So then, you know, when we're shooting on set in production, every single shot is like a jigsaw piece. So I never shoot coverage. I never do masters. It's just this is the exact shot for that one piece of choreography. And then that's why you get these like sort of, I guess, something that feels curated, something that feels unique to the sequences then. At least that's the hope.
This is an amazing film. I hope you'll do a sequel, and I'm looking forward to that.
Let's see, yeah? Hopefully people watch it enough.
I did. I'll tell more about it. Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Don't forget, I know what you did.
You have no idea what I did.
They were trying to escape. Kill them all.
It looks like you guys shoot up pretty bad, Jake.
Well, it's kind of hard to dodge a washing machine.
And then they come in for the visitation, and we've got a fishing pole and some line and stuff like that set off to the side, or a hunting blind set up. They really like that sort of thing, and it makes it more personal. It makes it less funeral-y and more personal, which is my whole business plan.
All right, so now we're gonna do a caviar bump. You wanna do a bump?
Sure. Okay. That was funny.
I'm Shanna Sauls.
Cameron Yelsanovich.
Dr. Sue Burge, and I'm a family physician.
I am a fan of pediatrics. I chose healthcare because I like to help people, not only when people are at their best, but I want to help people that are at their worst become better.
I had a love of working with people. I really like connecting with people, getting to know their story, and I thought this was a really good way to be able to do that.
Family practice was always where it was at for me. We're doing great things, helping people live happier and healthier lives.
CRHPC offers a lot of different services.
Did you know your teenager's brain is more likely to get addicted to nicotine than yours? The tobacco and vaping industries do. They target teens with their products and try to cover up the fact that there's nicotine in them. They're trying to get your kids addicted and make them customers for life, but you can stop them. Talk with your kids about the real dangers of vaping. The tobacco and vaping industry sure won't.
I do wish more people would understand the severity of their choice. I realize that it's a hard habit to quit. And so what I would tell people that if they're struggling with the addiction of cigarettes or vaping or whatever, and they want to quit, but they just don't know how, that there is help out there. There's resources to look up. There's places to go to really help you kick the habit and be there for you and your loved ones and everyone that cares about you.
And we're with Devin McCluskie of McCluskie Miller Funeral Home. He's co-owner, and you're like, what did you just say, Angie? Did you say funeral home?
Funeral home.
You know, you did. And listen, we're going to normalize this conversation. So we met you not too terribly long ago, super impressed with your approach to making this easier for families, for individuals. Bottom line, none of us get out of here alive. Pre-plan, and that's big in your business.
Pre-planning is big. It's the one thing that's going to happen to each and every one of us, and it's the one thing that we don't want to talk about. We're all scared to talk about.
Yeah.
And whenever that time comes, it shows.
Yeah.
Whenever you come to talk to me, a lot of times you don't know what mom or dad or what somebody would have had, and so a lot of times you're guessing, and that's difficult to do at a time when you're numb already.
Right. And you talked about that, where so many times you're faced with that awful job of, I mean, you've got people mourning sitting in front of you, and it's like, just, you know, try to make these decisions. And I tell you, and I shared with you, I just found out from a family that they thought they were going to have to go through that process, and they went in to find out that their loved one had taken care of everything. And what a relief it was.
It does make it so much easier when families come in and they're surprised to know exactly what their loved one wanted, down to the song that they want sung, who they want to officiate, where exactly they want to be interred or cremated. And it takes such a burden off the family. It really does.
And let me tell you about this guy. So it's hard to ask these questions, but I asked him if he's pre-planned, and he's like, yes. I know what picture I'm going to use. I know all of these things. So what I loved about what you shared is that you're truly listening to the individual, favorite colors, things they love to do, and you want to incorporate those things even end of life to remind people of who they were.
Absolutely. When a family comes in and we're in the arrangements conference and they're talking about their loved one maybe was a fisherman or a hunter or something like that, and then they come in for the visitation and we've got a fishing pole and some line and stuff like that set off to the side, or a hunting blind set up. They really like that sort of thing, and it makes it more personal. It makes it less funerally and more personal, which is my whole business plan.
And that's the other thing that you sort of been enlightening, actually. So you said the way that I'm able to curtail costs for people is I didn't build the expensive funeral chapel. And you know what? I just shared with my parents who are still living, my sisters, I don't ever want to go to another funeral chapel. Why wouldn't we go to a place that we've always enjoyed together? The farm, or go, you've done one at a firehouse.
That's exactly right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
More people are doing that. My business is only 980 square feet, and it's not needed. We can do anything. Like I said, we've had it at a firehouse. We had a beautiful ceremony on a family farm surrounded by cows and the sun going down, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I've been to a pole barn before, so many churches, graveside, whatever. That's what I like to do. Wherever you feel comfortable is what I'll come to make happen for you.
Yeah, and so we were talking about, he's convinced me, I guess. I've always said there's no way I want anybody to see me in that state. But you said, for so many people, it's finality, and it has to happen.
It has to happen. I know that's the one thing that we don't want to do. And if you talk to most people, nobody wants to be seen. And if you talk to a lot of people, they just want to be put in a pine box and thrown in a ditch. And that's perfectly fine.
Really?
Or just very easily.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Right.
But the one thing we're getting away from is viewing and saying goodbye. And that can be done very inexpensively, and it can be done inconspicuously, but it has to be done. And it's something I'm afraid that we're getting away from, and something that I'm working to help families with.
Well, you reminded me, there have been some really negative headlines where you got to see proof that Aunt Betsy's in there. Like, you know, there have been instances that were not so great.
Unfortunately, you're right. There are a few bad apples that give the rest of us a bad name, and so it takes away some of the uncertainty if we walk into a place and we just see a closed casket, or all of a sudden grandma's in a hospital, and next thing you know, she's cremated and she's in an urn. That's very difficult. And so I think the viewing, however that's done, helps that process along a little bit.
Well, the other thing, I mean, he really didn't probably want me to mention this, but it's very much an art form of what you do, and you've been noted in your work. You've worked for a lot of different funeral homes in a lot of different cities, but you're known for your embalming process and how you do things.
The embalming process is a very thorough process and an art that is beginning to die. And so it's something that we take very, very seriously within our organization, and with great results. Families are very pleased, and even without embalming, you can make somebody look very presentable and alleviate a lot of the sickness that they saw at a nursing home or in a hospice, and make them look more peaceful, and that's helpful.
That says so much about your character. You can tell, even having a conversation with you, you still to this, you've been doing it for years, and you're touched emotionally, I can tell.
You have to be. Funeral service is a calling. You have to realize that whenever somebody calls you, regardless of how many calls you've had or how many times you've experienced loss, that's the first time that they've lost their grandma or their mom. And you have to realize that, and you have to treat it as such. And that's something that can't be lost.
Well, I would encourage you. I visited your place, and it was very unique because you walked in, and I felt more like I was in an office building, which was fantastic. We sat down, we had a conversation, and I would encourage you, if you hadn't, find that person you feel comfortable with, and make sure that some of those things are taken care of, because look, none of us are escaping it, right?
And that's a great point. No matter where you are, not many funeral homes that charge for the pre-planning. I encourage you to go to whoever you trust and pre-plan your funeral, and I think that's great advice.
And it's transferable. I did learn about that. So if you've retired or whatever, it's transferred, and it's not lost.
If something happens, I go out of business, or if I make you mad and you're pre-arranged with me, you can take it to another funeral home down the road, and they'll gladly accept it.
Was that too hard? That wasn't hard. I'm glad you. So listen, we've had to soften a very difficult topic today.
That's exactly right.
And you did it. Thank you.
You're very good at this.
Yeah. Well, you're very good at what you do. I mean, I'm happy to know you, but I don't want to see you. I don't want a real close relationship with you right now. But thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And seriously, if you have questions, he's great to talk to. McCluskie, Miller. And you've even chosen, it's not funeral home, it's like funeral services.
Funeral services, yes. Just because I don't have a funeral home per se, we do own the rights to that name, but we are more of a funeral services because we go everywhere.
And that's what it's about. I told my dad, who's still living, I said, hey, you love the Bay, the beach area, you love Auburn football, you love being at the Op Country Club. I said, I'm going to take you on tour when it happens. We're going to all the places, all your friends can see you.
That's what my parents want.
All right, thanks again, Devin.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back.
Those are the only two wild-caught black caviar in the world.
It's so nice. It's awesome. They were super cute. You found out that we could, get a little cotton swab, and I think we used egg yolk, whole milk, and
Caro syrup.
Caro syrup.
Mixture of those.
The light Caro.
Yeah, the
Does
light,
it matter,
not the dark. Light is preferred.
We are the best kept secret in CRHPC.
Our clinic provides a vital role in our community.
We can get you the answers you're looking for.
The sliding fee program.
It can discount all the services that we have within CRHPC.
Marketplace insurance.
If you feel overwhelmed or if you can't do it yourself, then we can do that assistance for you.
Getting medications at a reduced cost.
We can provide resources for you for help, food, shelter, clothing.
Call us in advance and we can schedule transportation, a round trip.
A lot of insurances actually pay for transportation.
We do have a translator. We will help you wherever you want, all over the clinic.
We also have SHIP counselors that are certified for
Medicare, Medicaid.
We are here to help.
We're willing to work with you no matter what.
Call us at 833-209-0498 or visit us at crhbc.org.
Shout out to our sponsor of the Spiel in the Kitchen, Prairie Farms. They are now out with a single serve iced coffee, everybody. And the crowd goes wild. So listen, their whole slogan, which I love this, it's like skip those long lines, get your single serve, and they're your favorite coffee house flavors. Single serve Prairie Farms, good job. They've always had it in the half gallons and done really, really well in stores, so it's nice to see that.
I like this. You can grab it, take it in your car.
And go, that's it.
We want people to be able to be hands-on with their customers and be able to make sure that they get what that customer wants and that it looks good on them.
We do shape hats, size boots. We like to fit people in jeans.
When people are trying on clothes, I want them to look their best. I want to make sure they're in the right size, the length is right in the jeans. I want to make sure they have the right size shirt on.
They really appreciate that hands-on customer service.
I think you've heard it said, champagne wishes and caviar dreams. I wonder if we can use that.
I think we can use that.
The King of Caviar is here, so I guess that gives us the right, the permission to use it. Look, you're making press, headlines everywhere. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, how does one get to be the King of Caviar?
It takes a lot of people.
Mhm.
You know, I have a team, and so that's really what it's all about. There was going to be a reality show, and they came down, they filmed some things. I asked them what it was going to be called.
Okay.
And I don't know, it just kind of took a life of its own, and then it was said on national TV, and so everybody just kind of got it and run with it. It's hard for me because how can you be humble and call yourself the king? But
they called you the king.
It works.
You
They did.
They
right?
did it. They did
I
it.
just ran with it.
You just work, you know.
Yeah,
and what's
sure.
so interesting is it is most certainly considered high end, you know, some of the finest tables, that sort of thing. And you typically think about, you know, West Coast, East Coast, bling, Hollywood. I don't know that you think of Kentucky.
This opportunity to buy a fish market and a caviar business. I always kind of wanted to be a chef, but I was always chasing that dream of having a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, no chefs at the time were famous or making a lot of money.
Right.
But then, I don't know, to be able to put that on a chef's plate and make their dish better is something that's special to me.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it, is just like with, you know, wine, fine wine, champagne, it is all about the sampling and the tasting and the proving, you know, it's in the taste. And I noticed in your article, you are photographed with a very famous chef. I think she's in Paducah.
She is in Paducah, Sarah Bradley, and the way that we came together was just, it was kind of crazy. Someone had let me know that she was doing a dinner and she had caviar and she was going to use Kentucky caviar. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we have a famous chef from Paducah. She's
she was
using
on
caviar.
What show was that?
She was on Top Chef.
That's right. That's right.
She was runner-up,
Oh,
two different seasons.
Amazing.
And you know, I called her and I said, where are you getting your caviar? Like I was offended a little bit, you know?
Well, you should be. Good for you.
And she said, well, I guess I'm getting it from you. I said, all right, now we're talking.
Now, that's awesome.
So that's kind of how that came to be.
Yeah, and you were just sharing that, I don't know what time of the year you guys are watching this, but your caviar has made its way to Churchill Downs. It will be at the Derby. And Jack Harlow might be somewhere near your caviar.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Okay.
There a lot of Derby parties use our caviar. Derby parties for Derby week.
Okay.
There's just a lot there. So we've definitely sent some to a couple parties. We've actually catered some events for the Derby. So right around Derby time is really big, and that's when we've really focused selling to Kentuckians.
Yes, that makes sense. So you and I were talking earlier. For a lot of people, I think with caviar, they're going to say, the texture. Oh, what about, is it fishy? Is it this? So talk to me a little bit about your type of caviar.
Okay, this is wild caught. So what that basically means, it has a depthness into the flavor. It's going to have a richness. Being from Southern Illinois, Western Kentucky, anywhere in the South, you probably had some type of wild game somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so that is kind of the depthness and the richness of the flavor.
Okay. So you choose to, so let's talk first about how you prepare it to go in your wonderful presentation packages. So what is in this exactly?
That is hackleback sturgeon, which is native to the Mississippi River.
Some of the other stuff I've had, and I shared with you, larger, like real pops of, like, it could be a fishy, you said this would be more mild, maybe?
This is going to be very mild.
Okay.
It's not going to be fishy at all.
Okay.
And I think that's some of the misnomers. If someone doesn't like the caviar, most likely it's going to be a texture thing and not a taste thing.
Okay, perfect. And you choose to serve yours how? Even when you did the chef's table, how did you present it?
Well, there are a lot of people putting a lot of things on, putting caviar on. I say, you know, you see chicken, pizza, chicken nuggets and stuff like that. But really it pairs well with eggs, some kind of buttered toast, or potato.
Really?
Yeah. And so anytime like that, now I always boast and say, because I'm the first person that I know to try it, but it is absolutely amazing on cheesecake.
Stop.
Oh yeah. Because if you think about, when you think about what this tastes like, it really, I call it cheesecake on steroids because it's sweet, but this is kind of savory, a little salty, and it kind of blends and goes with everything.
I can't wait any longer.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
So I'm so excited to enjoy some caviar with the King of Caviar. So what do we do?
Okay, I'm going to let you, because I don't want to touch your food. So basically, I'll show you what I do.
Okay, you're going to do it first.
So I
Okay.
take a chip, and then I'm going to take, this is creme fraiche. You can substitute a lot of things with it, but this is just like a sour cream that's not sour.
Okay, very nice, yeah.
But you could use Greek yogurt. You can use sour cream.
Prairie Farms, because that's our sponsor.
Okay,
so that would be
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely,
okay.
absolutely. And then I'm just going to take what they call, this is like a dollop.
Yeah.
Just going to take a dollop of caviar and put on that. And then we're just going to try it.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, that looks really good. So, okay, let's, everybody's going to ask how much. Because you always think of caviar, you're like, oh man, I can't afford that, or how do you market it and what's in, what goes into that?
Well, so right now on our website, we only offer the 1 ounce, this is a 1 ounce. We only offer it in our store in Grand Rivers, Kentucky, or to chefs.
Okay.
So if you are going to buy it on the website, we offer it in 4 ounces at a time, which will feed about 4 people. If you really want, if you just want to taste it, you probably don't want to buy it if it's just a taste, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's why we only offer the 4 ounce jars. So a 4 ounce jar is going to cost about $125. If you spend $200 on our website, you get free shipping. So you could get 2 4 ounce jars.
Love it.
The product can be frozen. You don't have to pay shipping, which is overnight, straight to your door. And that is anywhere from $40 to $60 anywhere in the country.
Right.
So you're really saving a ton if you just buy
I
2.
love it. Yeah. Go direct. And then what's the website?
www.americasbestcaviar.com.
Jeez. All right. Here we go. That's amazing. What do you do to the king? Do I bow? What do I do? That's amazing.
The thing about it is the flavor hits you in waves, and so you'll have a little bit. And most of the time when I let people try it, because like I said, anyone is going to like that, right?
You keep talking.
So most of the time, people want to try it without the creme fraiche, which is exactly what you're doing. This is not set up at all, because 100%. They want to see what it tastes like. And then you're probably going to, well, let me just try it by myself.
And I 100% see what you're talking about with the cheesecake.
Yeah. Do you want to do a bump?
Sure. Well, that sounds.
Do you know what
Should we pause? What's happening? Is this illegal or
no?
what?
It's a caviar bump.
Okay, what's a bump?
So they say, when I say they, we're talking about professionals, that it goes really well and mixes with your skin tone.
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna rub it on my face.
I need you to do this right here. Okay. And what we do is.
Well, I got a fake tan yesterday. Is that going to matter?
I don't think so.
Okay, great.
Okay, you ready? Is that
what is am I going to inhale? Put it in my nose, or what am I doing?
No, you're gonna take a. It's like a shot, but you take it.
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, so it's just.
This is what very wealthy people do with their caviar.
Oh, absolutely. This is If you want to be a Californian and really be. Something.
We're going to make national news by doing a bump of caviar.
So, all right, here we go. So it's just like, it's almost like a toast or whatever you want. And just say, to caviar.
To caviar.
All right. Boom.
Good job. That's amazing. Wow. That is so good. You got a
thank
business
you.
here. How about that?
Let's
you
do it.
kind of knew that, right?
Yeah.
You already knew that.
And we do 2 different kinds. So that's
Okay.
the sturgeon.
Okay.
But then I also have the paddlefish.
Oh,
So you see that has.
yes.
So this closely resembles a Savruga sturgeon, which is from the old country. See, a lot of my clients and customers are of Russian background. That's what they prefer.
Is this the only? Are there other varieties of fish that you're using, or is this?
This is the only 2. This
Okay.
is native to the Mississippi River and its tributaries, and that's where this fish is found.
Okay.
And so those are the 2. Those are the only 2 wild caught black caviar in the world.
It's so nice. It's awesome. So check out your website, because there you can find out a lot more information.
Absolutely.
If you haven't, pick up this article, because this is amazing. This is how we found you, and I'm super excited about it. It's a whole other experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, and we'll be right back.
Yep, on the way down here, I was nearly late. The little box turtle was on the river road. Of course, there's no shoulder.
There's no
I
shoulder.
did myself a little 5-point turn, put my flashers on, stopped a semi, about 5 cars, and got that baby across the road.
Qualified.
We can actually provide resources for you for
Marketplace, insurance,
medication resources.
Medicare and Medicaid.
transportation.
We help people that don't have insurance.
our sliding fee program. It is based on your household income and size.
We can assist both our patients and those who are not our patients. We don't turn anyone away.
We want everyone to know we're here for them.
Please give us a call, because we will do whatever we can to help you have affordable and reliable health care.
One of the things that we provide here that some stores don't is we have a person on staff, happens to be my wife Marcy. She is very good at cleaning and shaping hats.
Very good with art growing up, so I have that kind of artistic, which I feel like shaping hats has to have an artistic with it.
So if you've not treated your hat correctly and it's got a little bit out of shape, we've got a professional steaming machine, and she can steam that, clean it, and get you back out on the road looking great.
As vehicles have evolved, so have our attitudes about safety. Seatbelts were a welcome addition, and fortunately, we found a way to protect our little ones as well. We added airbags and safety glass, and a long list of other safety features. But there's still something that doesn't come standard, and that's clean air. Only you can protect your passengers from the toxic chemicals in secondhand smoke. So thank you for keeping others safe by choosing not to smoke in your car.
We see everyone, regardless of their ability to pay.
We're helping those that otherwise might not receive the care that they need. We provide courier service to all of our facilities and have a convenient drive-through service as well.
I'm really proud to be able to work for an organization that has that policy.
Our pharmacy staff and I look forward to meeting you and serving all of your pharmacy needs.
And it's always interesting. A new face, I know, but not really. She and I. This is Candy Bradford. Is that your stage name now? Is that where we're going? Candy Bradford?
That is my name.
It's not her.
It is my name.
No. So Candy Bradford and I worked together years ago in that dreaded news business.
We
worked,
did.
Yeah.
We did.
Long time ago.
In the trenches.
Many moons ago. But we're not going to tell you how.
That many.
It was like 20 years ago, it feels like.
Why do you got to tell that?
Okay. But anyway, we stayed good friends as well. And so she came to visit this weekend. And despite the fact I thought I knew everything about you, right? You are a rabid animal lover, like stops in the middle of the road and to gain clearance for a turtle.
Yeah.
I'm worried about, and there's a busy road and there's a semi coming.
Yep. On the way down here, I was nearly late. The little box turtle was on the river road. Of course, there's no shoulder.
There's no
I
shoulder.
did myself a little 5-point turn, put my flashers on, stopped a semi, about 5 cars, and got that baby across the road.
You are not qualified.
Well, I lived. So, and he lived.
You did.
So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, if I can help, I'm going to.
Okay, so here's the deal. You were surprised by this. Yes. I was surprised. Yeah. So living on a farm, and we've all been there, the Spiel on the farm, we've taken our viewers many times. So this mama rabbit, I guess, I don't even see rabbits out there because we don't have a lot of trees and such out there.
Yeah.
But she thought that the rocks near our front porch, which we've shown on the show, just down from that little swinging bed where we've had artists, and I'm like, what is this?
Full nest.
I start to move it and things start moving and I'm freaking out. And then you show up and you're like, okay, we must bring them in and nurture them and ensure we take care of them.
Yeah. Well, they thought they might be rats.
I thought they were mice.
Well, I immediately took one look and I was like, oh, Lord, have mercy. Those are not rats. Those are baby bunnies.
They were bunnies.
So we sprung into action
We did.
and brought them inside and called a rehab friend, fed them. They were so precious.
Okay, that was, look, once I started all that business, then I'm hooked, right?
Yeah,
I
she's
probably
hooked.
would stop traffic to get the baby bunnies. So they were super cute. You found out that we could, get a little cotton swab, and I think we used egg yolk, whole milk, and
Caro syrup.
Caro syrup.
Mixture
the light
of those.
The light Caro.
Yeah, the
Does
light,
it
not the
matter,
dark.
though?
The light is preferred from what
Okay.
my rehabber friend has told me.
Okay, we mixed all that up, and the second day after we had fed them and such, they discovered their hind legs and they were hopping.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really appreciate you. I did not know that you were such an animal lover, but I do love that, and I learned a lot, and I encourage you because there are places out there that will take these animals and they will rehab them and then they will return them to the wild. And oh, by the way, we must tell you, we studied a lot to see how long the mom would leave them there. It had been 2 or 3 days, we're fairly certain, with no sign of mom.
Right, because otherwise the mom only visits them about once or twice within 24 hours. So if they're
Right.
alone, they're not necessarily abandoned. But we called Treehouse Rehabilitation, Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Dow, Illinois.
Yes.
And they gave me a few tips. And then when I left Angie's, I drove, 2.5 hours,
You
I guess.
did.
Drove 2.5 hours and dropped the babies off.
Kudos.
I know, we rocked.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you've noticed, I actually have the can of my, this is all of my caviar here. I have to keep guard of this since the King of Caviar left. But a great show. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We had a lot of great talent on today. You'll be seeing a lot more of her, and unless she's busy roadside taking care of an animal or anything like that. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here.
Thank
and
you for
being
having
such
me.
a gracious, kind, loving, pretty, nice person.
Takes one to know one.
Oh, great. We'll see you next time.
You ready to go yet?
Yeah. Our caviar. For sure.
Are we going? Are we going yet? Have we gone?